This one right here over there. There's some. Good afternoon, sir. Would you raise your right hand, please? You do solemnly swear the evidence in the testimony given this cause will be the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead and have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. Adjust that microphone if you need to.
Thanks, sir.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you introduce yourself to the jury, please?
My name is Jason Shea, and I'm with the Texas Rangers
And how long have you been in law enforcement?
since 1998, so about 27 years.
And would you briefly go through what your duties have been in law enforcement?
So in 1998, I graduated the DPS Training Academy, was assigned as to the Highway Patrol. I was in the Highway Patrol for about 8 years. Promoted and was a Highway Patrol Sergeant for about 7 years. And then in 2013, I promoted into the Texas Rangers. And about 3 years ago, I went into cold cases, and now I just promoted as a lieutenant, staff lieutenant with the Rangers in our cold case program.
And what is a cold case?
Definition of cold cases is there's not a set definition for it. So I was under a grant through the Department of Justice where we use advanced DNA testing to identify suspects in cases utilizing kinship testing and genealogy.
Okay. Have you also done training in crime scene investigations?
Yes.
And would you explain what your training is?
So initially it's through your basic DPS Texas Ranger crime scene investigation, from blood spatter to crime scene investigation photography.
And have you conducted crime scene investigations?
Yes.
Few or many?
Many.
Okay. As you work with law enforcement, have you likewise become familiar with guns?
Yes.
And tell us what your familiarity with that is.
Well, initially growing up, we all pretty much shot guns, but and then with the DPS, I'm a firearms instructor, qualify other law enforcement officers in firearms, and then every type of training that we do, and then shooter reconstruction also.
What does shooting reconstruction mean?
More of how a projectile reacts when it hits different surfaces, and trajectory of those projectiles.
Okay. So tell us in general terms, how does ammunition or weapons, how does that play into a crime scene?
If there is a firearm involved in a shooting involved with an officer involved shooting, or a crime where somebody has been shot, you can do ballistics to try to track those type of the shell casings, have the primer strikes. Also, the serial numbers on guns, you can track those at times.
So as a result of that, have you also had to learn just the basic mechanics of how a bullet is fired and what happens inside a bullet when it is fired?
Yes.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll approach you.
Yes, sir.
Enter in Exhibit 2 to the defense. We'd offer Exhibit 2 for the demonstrative purposes, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection, no.
It's admitted for that purpose.
And may the witness approach the
Yes, sir.
exhibit. Would you tell us what we're looking at in State's Exhibit 2, please? And make sure people on our side is okay. So if you need this to help you point things out,
Sure.
keep you out of.
So basically, this is your bullet with your casing and your projectile. The back of the bullet where the primer or the firing pin strikes, which then enacts and creates some type of explosion that would impact the black powder that's inside, and then it projects, and that expansion of gas projects
the bullet or the
So when we hear a shot go off, what are we hearing?
you're hearing the expansion of the gas in there.
And that's from the gunpowder igniting?
Correct.
Okay. And then the primer, would you explain to us what the primer is?
That's just where the when it's placed inside the weapon, it strikes that which causes fire that does the gunpowder. Excuse me.
Now, is there anything about what is on a bullet casing that helps you identify manufacturers or those kind of things?
Sure. Back here in this area right here, there is usually the manufacturer, what type of ammunition it is.
And is that sometimes helpful in a crime scene
Sure.
to track down who originally manufactured that?
Yes.
And can you compare it if there's more than one person firing a shot?
Sure. And then you're going to look at the primer strikes and how that it is struck, and then how the casing goes through the barrel, or when it's put into the barrel, there's markings in the weapon. Each weapon is pretty much unique, and that's how they would be able to track that.
And as far as manufacturing, then where do they print that?
Back here, usually.
And by looking at that, then you can tell if empty casings then.
Sure,
are
like this one says
manufactured.
9mm, so you would suspect that would be a 9mm.
Okay. Now, when a bullet is fired, could you just demonstrate what happens to the parts of the bullet? Where do they go and what happens?
Sure. This will stay inside the weapon itself until it's ejected from the weapon. Of course, this is the primer as part of that shell casing, and the part that comes out is this part right there. So the bullet or the projectile.
Bullet or projectile is what you call it. That goes out and that does the damage.
Correct.
And the casing, does it matter what kind of weapon is being used as to where the casing goes?
Yes. So a revolver that doesn't eject it would stay in there, and then a semi-automatic weapon would eject that.
And what is a semi-automatic weapon?
One that can shoot multiple rounds.
Okay. And so what happens when a semi-automatic weapon is fired?
It will first of all the bullet is in there. Once it's fired, it's ejected out to the side. Usually
The mechanisms of the rifle itself will eject.
pulls it out, ejects it out, and then loads another one back in.
And so is that one of the things you're looking for when you're looking at a crime scene?
Sure, because if there's not any ejected shell casings, then it could be a revolver that's involved.
And if there are ejected shell casings, I can tell you.
More likely that it's a semi-automatic, or that person dumped that ammunition out.
And because the casing's there, can you also inspect it to see who manufactured it?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Ranger, have you had experience of doing crime scene investigations in additional active shooter situations?
Not in an additional active shooter situation. No, sir.
You have not done crime scenes in active shooter?
No,
How about mass shootings?
no,
Yeah, did you work in Sutherland Springs?
no, sir.
Is this the first time you've been to an active shooter crime scene?
Yes.
And how did you arrive at the scene?
By vehicle. I was in Del Rio at the time when we got a call that there was a possible active shooter in Uvalde, and responded from Del Rio.
And how far is Del Rio from Uvalde?
A good distance. I was there on a deployment for the border operations, so I'm not familiar with that area. I actually followed some other individuals to that location.
How long does it take you to get from Del Rio to Uvalde?
I think it took us approximately about an hour to get there.
And when you got there, what did you do?
I had just finished a shift doing border operations, so I was actually in shorts and a t-shirt. I threw on my gear. I was parked down the street, and when I arrived, the street to get there to the school was blocked by vehicles. And the ambulance pulled up and said, "We've got to get these vehicles out of there." So I instructed Highway Patrol to start ramming vehicles off the road, patrol cars, so they could have an entrance to get there to the school. About that time, then other officers, knowing that their vehicles are going to get rammed off the road, came out and moved their vehicle so the ambulance could arrive.
And did you go in before the breach occurred?
Yes,
And did the breach occur while you were in there?
yes.
And do you know who was involved in the breach of the classrooms at Robb Elementary?
Multiple officers, the Border Patrol BORTAC team was the TL there was the lead over that stack.
And what does BORTAC mean?
It's a border operations tactical team for the Border Patrol.
Okay. They actually led the breach, is that
Yes.
correct? Were you given assignments then as far as the crime scene at Robb Elementary?
So being the first ranger or one of the rangers that was on the scene, we cleared the crime scene to make sure everybody was out and nothing was contaminated at that point. That was secured. And then I was asked to, at some point, to go photograph the vehicle that the suspect had been involved in with his accident before he made entry into the school.
And did you photograph
Yes.
the crime scene? Had an opportunity to review photographs with me prior to coming here today.
Yes, sir.
And were those fair and accurate depictions of the crime scene of the truck that you participated in?
Yes.
Stag tenders exhibits 50 through 84 to the defense as to offer into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, they'll be admitted.
And may we display those to the jury?
Yes.
Okay, Ranger, looking first.
Exhibit 50. Could you explain to us what we're looking at this point?
Yes, sir. This is the vehicle that had crashed through the guard for that culvert and had crashed right there.
And that was its resting place?
Yes, sir.
And Exhibit 51.
It's same photograph, just from a different angle.
Okay, and what is in the background there?
That's going to be the funeral home, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Funeral home back over in this area right here, and there was another street that came straight here. And then the school was over here to your right.
Thank you. Exhibit 52.
Just a different perspective of that same vehicle with the school in the background.
And this was taken on the same day of the offense, May 24, 2022? Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes, sir.
Exhibit 53.
Close-up photograph of that same vehicle.
And the condition of the windows in Exhibit 53.
I believe the ones that passenger side had been were shattered.
On the passenger side,
Yes, sir.
front window
Yes, sir.
was shattered. And Exhibit 54.
Just some of the barriers, and then some projectiles or shell casings or bullets, however you want to call it, there by the fence.
And would you point those out because they're kind of small there?
Yes.
And had those bullets been fired?
No, sir.
So they were still live rounds?
Correct.
And we say a barrier, is that another name for a fence?
Yeah, so you had your fence over here, but you had the barriers from, I believe, from where he had struck that barrier when he entered in that culvert.
Oh, the way the culvert comes down?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
Thank you. And State's Exhibit 55.
So just another photograph of that vehicle.
Does that give us a better shot of the front right.
The front of the vehicle where you can see where it had crashed through that barrier and then vaulted into that culvert.
Does that also show the front right window, its condition?
Yes.
And this condition was what?
Broken. You can see the glass right here. So it had been rolled up at the time when it was when it broke.
Very good. State's Exhibit 56.
Same photograph from the rear of the vehicle. You can tell the direction the vehicle was coming from with its marks from the tire.
And on the right side of the vehicle, could you describe what we see there?
Yes, sir. There's a black bag here.
And did it have evidentiary value?
Yes, there was a long rifle or a rifle inside of it.
A long rifle or
A
rifle?
rifle.
State's Exhibit 57.
It's a close-up photograph of the rifle in the bag.
Was that then the condition it was in when you saw it?
Yes.
Exhibit 58.
There you go. So just another photograph of that weapon. And then you also see magazines with live rounds up here in the right. You also see where that glass was on top of the bag from that window.
Okay. This may be the first time we've heard the word magazine with your testimony. Explain to us what a magazine is.
A magazine is inserted into the weapon from the bottom of this area right here, and it's usually loaded with other live ammunition. And so when the gun is fired, the semi-automatic, it ejects the shell casing that had been fired, and it automatically loads up another bullet from the magazine.
Exhibit 59.
So once we opened up that bag, we laid out all the magazines that were there and photographed that.
And how many cartridges does one of those magazines hold?
Usually anywhere 28 to 30.
20 to 30 rounds. So 20 or 30 rounds can be fired without the gun being reloaded.
Correct. It loads itself. Yes, sir.
And then what does it take to reload the weapon?
You have to eject a magazine and insert another magazine.
And about how long does that take?
Depends on how proficient somebody is. It can take seconds.
Just seconds, a matter of seconds?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And number 60.
Just a photograph of those magazines with live cartridges in there.
So does that indicate the magazines were full?
Or had been loaded. Yes, sir.
And how many magazines are depicted there?
6.
Thank you. Exhibit 61.
Open the door of that passenger side and photograph the inside of the vehicle.
And on the passenger seat, is there a magazine there also?
Yes, sir. Right. That had rounds inside of it.
And it had rounds in it also.
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 62.
Another magazines with live rounds inside of it. That was in the floorboard.
Front floorboard.
Yes, sir. Of the passenger side.
Thank you. 63.
Looks like it's the same photograph. So we had emptied out or looked for identification to see who had insurance on the vehicle or if the vehicle was registered to someone. And so we placed those out by that cell phone that's located right here. And that same magazine that with the live rounds just to see who the owner of the vehicle was or potential.
And did you activate that magazine to aid you and assist you as to whose telephone that was?
Can you repeat that question?
Did you activate the phone or did the phone activate?
Yeah, when we picked up the phone, the front screen popped up.
And is that what a photograph of Exhibit 64 is?
Yes.
And are you able to read from that phone, from this photograph?
Yes, I am.
And could you repeat what you read on the top
It's an
line, please?
Instagram post from an individual, Ella Packer 69. Yeah, they killed them and he killed his grandma. He shot her 24 times. He's going to hell.
Okay.
Then there was just another Instagram, somebody's following you, a TikTok, somebody liked the video, somebody took a screenshot, Apple News, and then somebody appeared to try to call this individual.
Thank you. Did you see the gunman that day, or did you ever see a photograph of him?
No.
Okay, so you can't tell us whether or not this was the gunman?
No.
You can just say this was the car in which there was an automatic weapon found just outside.
Yes.
Thank you. State's Exhibit 65.
So the back passenger view photograph inside, there's a little blood right here on the seat. Appeared to might have been some blood on the center console, and then another magazine with live ammunition inside of it. Also you can see that the airbags had deployed on the driver's steering column.
And what causes an airbag to deploy?
An impact to the front of the vehicle,
Okay.
which is consistent with what we saw.
Fair enough. 66.
Couple more magazines. So I'd already pointed out one of them. There's 3 more there, the tire iron, and a couple other items.
So we had 6 outside, and these are additional magazines.
So six outside, 2 in the front that we saw, and then there's another 4, and then I think there's another one in the back seat. So it's 12.
13 at this time.
Holding a capacity of 20 or 30 rounds or somewhere in between.
Yes, sir.
Exhibit 67.
Same photograph. It looked like, I don't know what that is, something with the vehicle, but then there's another magazine and a spent shell casing there and a live round there.
And is there both a live round and a fired casing there?
Correct, a live round and a fired round.
And how can you tell the distinction?
You can see that projectile of that bullet right there, and on this one, there's not one. So we know that had been fired or appeared to be fired.
So that indicates that a bullet had been fired somewhere around
Somewhere.
or near that vehicle.
Don't know, just that there was a shell casing there and that bullet had been potentially
And would
fired.
it be consistent with the weapon that you saw outside the vehicle for a casing to be ejected from that weapon upon it being fired?
Yes.
In other words, it wasn't a
It
revolver.
wasn't a revolver, it was a semi-automatic rifle.
So you would expect the casing to be ejected.
Correct.
And Exhibit 68.
So a zoomed in photograph, next photograph.
I'm sorry, this thing's
No,
not
no.
always working. There you go.
Yeah, you can see where it appears to be burnt kind of on the end from the expansion of the gas, the burning of the gas. And it appeared that primer had been struck, which initiates the firing of it.
Indicating again it had been fired.
Yes.
And Exhibit 69.
A live shell casing, you can see that the bullet is still there.
The bullet on the end indicates it has not been fired.
Correct.
Exhibit 70.
Lift up that seat and you can see where there was a jack there from the vehicle.
And in the
And also
door facing of the back seat, is there any evidentiary value there?
Yes, there's a spent shell casing right there.
And you say spent, once again, that means
Had
it was
been
fired.
Excuse me.
And Exhibit 71.
A zoomed in photograph of that one.
And 72.
I believe that's going to be the front driver's seat, a magazine that had been loaded with cartridges inside of
Okay, so this is still an additional casing? I mean, a magazine,
magazine.
Yes, sir.
and once again,
I
fully
think
loaded.
we're around 14, I believe.
Thank you. And 73.
The driver's seat, we know that's because of the airbag right there, and then 2 live bullets there in the driver's seat.
74.
A zoomed in photograph of both of those.
And finally, 75 down, I guess, toward the
Yes.
middle of the screen.
Same magazine that we had noted earlier, and then 2 more shell casings or cartridges right there.
Thank you.
Yes.
When we talk about weapons and ammunition, what does the word caliber mean to you?
It's the that ammunition, a caliber goes with that type of gun. So if you had a 308 caliber rifle, it would shoot 308 ammunition. A 9mm would shoot a 9mm. It's the size of the weapon.
And so what caliber was this ammunition?
223.
And is a 223, can it be fired in a 9mm weapon?
No.
And vice versa?
No.
And so if you find 223 casings, the indication is it was fired from a 223 weapon.
Correct.
And by the same token, if you find a 9mm casing, it indicates that it was fired by a 9mm weapon.
If it was spent or had been fired, then yes, it would have been shot from a 9mm.
And once again, that would be if it was a semi-automatic that ejected the casing as opposed to a revolver.
Correct.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Stacy's Exhibit 12, we should just take a quick look at that.
Yeah.
Yes. You testified that you found 2 live casings in the truck that you did the search on. Does that appear to be the same?
2 live?
Fired casings.
Yes.
Thank you for
This,
correcting that.
yes, sir. These would be fired casings.
Thank you. The state offers Exhibit 12.
No objection.
Thank you. Exhibit 12, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. And on Exhibit 12, the 2 casings, on the end of those casings, is there a head stamp indicating what manufacturer?
Yes, sir.
And could you tell us what it is?
Not without my glasses.
Okay. And you didn't bring them?
No, sir, I did not.
We'll save that for another witness then. I couldn't either, that's why I asked you.
Is he just cheaters or what?
Yes.
You know, try to give us some-
Hey, if it'll work, it'll work.
Try that.
I know some cheaters.
Don't break a man. It wasn't good.
We'll give it one more try. but
All right.
We got younger people coming with better eyes.
I thought my sight was bad. No, I can't.
Okay, fair enough.
I can't. I'm sorry.
That's all right, not a problem.
I appreciate it.
Right by your booth. Thank you.
Yeah, well, let's try these. Of course, they're pink.
Hey, pink will work. I think that'll work.
Really?
Says LC 22.
Bill, if you want to read it, we'll agree.
Is it LC 223?
Yes, sir.
Would that be consistent with what's fired from those semi-automatic weapons?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And LC stands for the manufacturer.
Yes, sir.
223 is the count.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Pass the witness.
Please.
Good afternoon, Ranger.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I wasn't expecting that accent.
No, I know. I'm sorry about that. So, so my name's Gary Hilly. We've not met before.
No, sir. We have not.
And so you understand, you've done this a lot before, right?
Yes, sir.
So you understand I'm one of the attorneys representing Adrian,
Yes, sir.
right? And
Yes, sir.
you know, I've got to ask you some questions.
Sure.
And you testified loads of times.
A couple of times. Yes, sir.
A couple of times. So I'm not going to ask you anything you haven't been asked before. So if I tend to speak too fast, so if I do, you just tell me to slow down, and if you need me to repeat something, say Gary, go again.
Sounds good. Thanks, sir.
And so I wanted to, let's go back to the beginning of your testimony. So do I address you as Ranger or Lieutenant, just to start off with?
Whatever's good with you or Jason. That's just fine.
So if I just call you Ranger, is that good enough? Is that
That's
respectful enough?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so Ranger, I want to talk to you a bit about your training experience, because you've been, did you say you've been in law enforcement since 1998?
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for your service. We appreciate you. So that's a lot of experience.
A little bit. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, so you and look, I mean, I wrote some of it down. You've done a lot of things. You've been you're a crime scene investigator, right?
Yes, sir.
You've been a firearms instructor. Are you still a firearms instructor?
Yes, sir.
So how long have you been doing that?
Since probably 2002.
So you've been doing that.
A little bit of time. Yes, sir.
That's 23 years, 24 years now, right?
Yes, sir.
Nearly a quarter of a century. So you've got a lot of experience in the world of firearms and instruction in firearms.
Yes, sir.
But of course, I guess you said that you worked for were you a DPS trooper at the start?
Yes, sir.
And so at some point you have to go through some kind of academy,
Yes, sir.
and they teach you basic police tactics or ranger tactics, right?
Basic police tactics. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And because if you hadn't had any police experience before or law enforcement experience before, that's where they teach you the basic stuff.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And so when we talk about basic stuff, we're talking about report writing,
Yes, sir.
some knowledge of the penal code,
Yes, sir.
stuff like that, driving,
Yes, sir.
right, weapon handling,
Yes, sir.
and some tactics that go around basic policing,
Yes, sir.
right? And you like I said, one of the basic things he's doing is report writing, right?
Yes.
Because reports are important,
Yes, sir.
right? Because you try and make them fair, I would imagine, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you try to include details in them.
Yes, sir.
Because on like an occasion like today, this incident was 3 years ago,
Yes, sir.
right? So did you prepare a report about this incident?
We prepared many reports about this incident.
Okay. And have you reviewed any today?
No, sir. I have not today.
Have you reviewed any in preparation for your testimony?
More of the photographs is what I reviewed, a statement, and then many of the interviews that I had done.
So let's talk about, so when you say a statement,
Yes, sir.
you said a statement, is that a statement that you made or?
No, it was based off of an interview that I had done.
So, because you also did interviews in this case, right?
Yes, sir.
We'll talk about that in a little while. But do you recall how many reports you authored in this case?
No, most of the reports that I authored were based off the interviews that I had conducted.
So, okay, well, let me go a different way then. So your investigation of this scene, we've established that you went to the scene, and we'll talk about that. I'm talking about the photographs that Mr. Turner's got here from Main Bill. Can I borrow those for a second? Is that the right ones? They're the wrong ones. Can I borrow them for a second? So you're on my approach, witness. So your investigation of this incident is kind of documented in these photographs. Is that
Yes,
fair to
sir.
say? So you didn't do a written report? Or
No.
I guess type now, right?
No, correct. Yes, sir. Most of mine was documented by the photographs.
So I guess traditionally you'd have done, back when you started, it was probably a handwritten report, right?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and now it would be a typed report.
Correct.
So your testimony here today is you didn't do that. You just documented your work through photographs.
Other individuals documented it. Mine were through the photographs.
Yeah, your work. So
Yes.
your work was done through these photographs.
Correct.
All right, okay, cool. So I want to make sure that make sure we're not missing anything with,
No,
with
sir.
reports or anything like that. Okay. So let's talk about your job as because it sounds like you were a firearms instructor before you were a crime scene investigator.
So, and I say crime scene investigator, I'm a ranger. We usually process most of our crime scenes. So not a crime scene investigator, but more as a ranger. That's one of our duties.
So like dual purpose, you get to you're multitasking. It would be fair to say that you are investigating, but you're also processing the scene yourself.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Whereas I guess sort of what would happen sometimes, a local PD will come and patrol officers or detective will come to a scene and they will call in crime scene folks and they will process the scene.
Correct. As a ranger, we usually do our own.
You can't do both. So when did you specialize in the firearms, before or after you started doing more of the crime scene stuff? Or was it
Before.
before. So let's talk about that for a second. So I wanted to, and Judge, may I approach the demonstrative?
Yes.
Can I talk about some of the things you discussed earlier with the prosecutor? And this demonstrative that you used earlier, can you see that there? Can you see that there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, cool. So this round here, on this demonstrative, I think it's stage 2, right? This, I'm on the left here, I'm indicating on the left. We'll move it so the court reporter can see it. That's what we're talking about. So this would indicate, this is a hugely magnified diagram.
Yes, sir.
This isn't a real projectile or round of ammunition, is it?
No.
It's a diagram.
Yes,
right?
sir.
But on the bottom here, the end of the round, the cap, if you call it right, it says 9 millimeters.
Correct.
Right, and that would indicate a round or a projectile that gets fired from a smaller weapon, a handheld weapon.
Correct. Yes,
right?
sir.
Because I don't want you to show me that you're probably armed today,
Yes, sir.
right? And what kind of sidearm do you carry?
357.
357, and that is
It's a little bit larger than what this would be.
so that's what I was going. It's a self-loading pistol,
Yes, sir.
right? But that's you wear it up on your hip,
Yes, sir.
right? And so that's probably the only weapon you're wearing right now.
Correct.
But if you address tactically, that would be your secondary,
Correct.
right? So that would be your backup weapon,
Correct.
right? And your primary weapon would be a long arm.
If I had a long arm at that time, yes, sir.
If you were doing any kind of tactical work, and the idea of that is you can shoot longer with that,
Correct.
right? And it's more accurate.
Yes.
And if that fails, you ditch it and you go for your secondary,
Correct.
which is your
The
pistol on the hip.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's the kind of round that we're talking about here on your diagram,
Correct.
right? It's not the kind of rounds that Mr. Turner showed you. In States Exhibit 2012.
Correct. The concept is the same.
Yeah.
Just a different type of
And
weapon.
so the jury can see that these are a different caliber, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
223 can't be fired through a handgun, but the principle is exactly the same,
Yes, sir.
right? Although this, because it would have these, see that in 12, this has more powder.
Correct.
So because you said earlier, and we'll go back to the diagram here. Can you see it? Oh, you can't see it. I'm trying to get these out without handling them. I feel very. Oh, yeah.
I don't mind.
So Nico's going to show the jury the rounds there. So you'd agree, I guess, these are longer than a normal 9mm round, which is what's portrayed here.
Correct.
So
Yes, sir.
that round is fired out of a longer barreled weapon.
Yes, sir.
Right, I say round, a round of ammunition,
Correct.
because that right now is a cartridge. So this is a round of ammunition,
Yes, sir.
right? This thing here is the projectile.
Yes, sir.
Right, the bit on the end. That gets, this primer gets struck by the firing pin,
Yes, sir.
right? You pull the trigger, the spring squeezes, eventually the firing pin goes forward and it strikes this pin.
Correct.
And you quite rightly said people think it creates an explosion,
Yes.
and it's really like a very fast burn,
Yes.
right?
Correct.
And
That's what ignites the gunpowder.
ignites the gunpowder in this cartridge and forces the projectile out of the barrel,
Correct.
right? And so this cartridge is the thing that carries the charge or the powder.
Correct.
The longer the charge or the cartridge, the faster it travels.
Should be.
And
Yes.
if you add that to a barrel, which makes it spin, it's even more deadly, right? That projectile
Correct.
is
More
even deadly.
accurate. Yes, sir.
More accurate. It can travel faster, and it can travel further distances.
Yes, sir.
So that round there is now potentially in the right weapon is much more dangerous than a round fired out of like a 9mm weapon.
It's going to be more powerful.
More
Yes, sir.
powerful, so therefore more dangerous. More power equals more velocity.
Correct.
More velocity equals more speed.
Yes.
More speed means more danger.
Potentially. Yes, sir.
Right, potentially. So, and then what happens with these is that the round gets fired and the projectile gets thrown out the end of the barrel, right? Gets pushed, spirals down the barrel, and then goes towards its target.
Correct.
Okay, and then the weapon recycles.
Yes, sir.
So the weapon will cycle, the receiver or some of the action will go forward, then come backwards on itself.
Correct.
And that's what throws the ejected cartridge out.
Correct.
So just want to clear that out. So it throws, and depending on the ejector that's inside the weapon itself, that depends where that cartridge goes, right?
A lot of things depend on where that cartridge goes, but yes, it grabs that basically and throws it out.
Because some weapons have slightly different individual characteristics.
Correct.
They have like general characteristics, but that's how you can tell. Because sometimes there will be markings on the rounds and on the cases that you can say this has been fired by this weapon.
Correct.
And sometimes that is the ejector.
Yes.
Because the weapon fires, recycles, and as it's coming back, it hits the ejector pin or whatever you want to call it, and it fires the round out.
Correct.
And generally, most of these weapons are they're recycled to the right.
Yes.
Because I guess
Most of the ones that I've been involved with, yes.
and I'm assuming maybe you tell us it's probably because most people are right-handed, right?
Correct.
Because it fires away from the firer's face.
Correct.
So generally, rounds when they're fired from a long barrel weapon or a handgun go to the right.
That's the intention.
That's
Yes,
the
sir.
intention. Because it keeps away from the firer's face.
Correct.
It'd be no good for military or law enforcement.
Exactly.
It goes away to the right, but sometimes it'll go backwards.
Correct.
So there's no real science, there's no real way of accurately saying, does it go backwards or just sideways?
Correct.
But what we can agree with is that round is more dangerous than one of these.
Potentially, yes, sir.
Yeah, and so therefore that weapon is.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And so, because you must do some tactical stuff as well, by the sounds of it.
Yes.
And so when you deploy tactically, what equipment do you have?
A pistol and a rifle.
So you have the pistol was your secondary? Or your
Correct.
backup? What kind of rifle do you carry?
A 223.
Okay, and so what range is that accurate over generally?
It could go from long distance, but I would say anywhere from 50 yards to 100, 200, 250 yards.
And I guess it depends on how good your training is, right? But
Correct.
What other equipment would you have on you?
A bulletproof vest. Potentially, you might have a helmet on.
And so let's talk about your vest. So I mean, the deputies in the room now are wearing vests, right?
Yes.
And vests come in different types,
Correct.
right? So there's a general bulletproof vest, which is generally made of Kevlar, right?
Yes, sir.
And I guess they are mostly rated against probably stab proof and smaller rounds.
I don't know about the stab proof, but the smaller rounds, yes, sir.
Yeah, generally speaking, they're probably not going to stop something like that,
Generally, no.
right? And that's kind of, I guess you might agree with me that that's general police issue is a Kevlar vest, probably what the deputies are wearing here today, that will stop a smaller round, which is one we were looking at there.
Yes, sir.
It'll stop one. It won't stop one of those.
Usually not, depending on that vest, but yes, sir. Typically,
Probably not, right? You wouldn't trust it. would you?
no.
No. And so in order to do that, you need to put something inside the vest, right?
Yes,
It's normally a Kevlar plate.
a plate.
So you'd probably take your body armor off. Sometimes they've got spaces for you to put the plates in them,
Yes, sir.
right? So you'd have to take your armor off, open it up, put the plate in it, right?
At some point, but they usually stay with it most of the time.
Unless you stays with it. But if you're doing a dual purpose thing, you've got your normal vest on, right?
Yes,
you
sir.
could have your plates in your bag, in a go bag in your vehicle, right?
It depends on that individual. Yes, sir.
But you probably have plates in yours.
Yes.
Because otherwise, you wouldn't want to risk your life with that, right? Otherwise,
Correct.
Yeah, of course. And that's is that the stuff you had on you that day when you were in Del Rio and you got this call?
Once I didn't have a helmet on.
You didn't have it. Well, you didn't have it on, but you said you just finished the deployment or something. You had short.
Correct.
But you have your equipment available to you,
Yes. Yes, sir.
right? And that's the equipment you had with you, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because so you testified that you were I think you said you were in Del Rio
Yes.
at the time this came in,
Yes, sir.
or you became aware, right? Because you became aware that there was an incident developing.
Correct.
I'm assuming. So
Mhm.
And that's either through radio or telephone communication?
I was at the office and somebody had walked up to me and said, "Hey, we've heard that there's an active shooter there at Uvalde. Are you going?" And of course, yes.
And so, because you're a law enforcement officer,
Yes, sir.
right? And you're aware that there's this, well, you're aware now. At the time, did you say there was an active shooter? Is that what you said?
Yes.
So you know that you hadn't seen that with your own eyes, right? And you said that you did some interviews
Yes.
of school people,
Yes.
school employees.
Correct.
And that wasn't that day, right?
No, sir. This is for the weeks, or for a week, probably every day for the next week or so.
So how long after this incident do you think you did these? What I'm getting at is, what was the time span? Was it the next day? Was it a week later?
So the next day, I was dealing with returning property back to agencies who had just left their equipment. So I dealt with that. And then after that, it was more of dealing with, I had to go to the hospital the day of, right after this, not for myself, but as part of the investigation. And then it was more a list of individuals who were employed at the school, officers that responded. So we broke that up and started conducting interviews.
Right.
So those are the interviews that I had done.
And so you spoke to a lot of school district employees. I'm not talking about Adrian, I'm talking about staff at the school district, right?
Correct.
And so you spoke to all kinds of people, right?
Correct.
From coaches, I guess.
I don't believe it was more of staff, principal, secretaries, and then officers that responded.
And Ranger, I guess you would agree with me that your investigation showed a practice or a pattern of staff defeating the locks at the school, right?
Correct.
What I mean by that is there was a policy in place in the school district for the doors to be locked, the exterior doors to be locked,
Correct.
and for the interior doors of classrooms to be locked,
Correct.
right? And they were fitted, I guess you would agree with me, with what has been called a lot of these doors, through your investigation, they're called Columbine doors, right?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. But they were fitted with doors that can only be locked from the outside.
Correct.
And there's a purpose for that, right?
From Maya, from
Yeah.
the individuals that I spoke to, the purpose for that was so a student couldn't lock a teacher outside the door.
Okay, right. And that's a valid purpose, right? But what you know through your law, because you've been a firearms instructor for 24 years, right? You were around just after Columbine in 1999, and you've done lots of training in active shooters.
Yes, sir.
Scenarios, right? And one of the reasons that those doors are supposed to lock is so that people like the person who committed this unspeakable act can't gain access to the building,
Yes, sir.
because if it's locked, presumably they don't have access to the keys.
It'd be harder to get into the school. Yes, sir.
Yeah, if it's locked, you can't get in through a locked door without breaching it,
Correct.
right? Because these doors are pretty substantial.
Yes, sir.
They're metal.
Yes, sir.
You've got metal frames.
Yes, sir.
So if you were to go and you would need, and your team would need special equipment to get into that.
Correct.
So the reason they're locked is so that a kid can't play a prank on their teachers, right?
Sure.
But also for more sinister reasons to prevent things like this happening.
Correct.
And that's just the external doors.
Yes, sir. I was
And
speaking
internal.
about the ones inside the classroom.
But
or at the
external
classroom.
and internal, right?
Yes.
But your investigation showed a pattern of staff defeating these locks.
Based on the interviews I had done, yes,
Right.
sir. There were staff that wouldn't always lock the inside doors.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. But your investigation showed that the school had magnets that they could place on the doors to defeat the locks,
Correct.
and they would give them out to staff.
Now that I don't know.
But
I know there were some teachers that utilized those. Now, do I know if the school gave those out. I don't know anything about that.
You don't recall being told that these magnets were given to substitute teachers because they wouldn't be able to get in and out with passes?
Very true. Yes, sir. But your normal staff, no. But substitute teachers, so because they weren't given a key to the classroom, they would be given those.
And I know I think you're probably aware there was a policy that was against the school policy.
I would suspect so.
Yeah. Thank you, Ranger. So just to confirm that your investigation revealed that there was a pattern of leaving these doors unlocked.
Yes.
There was a pattern of defeating the door locks with magnets.
Yes, sir.
Right. And on this day when you were there, you now know that these doors were in fact all unlocked.
At the time, I was under the same impression as everybody else that the door was locked. And to come to find out that I've been told based off of that crime scene investigation that door was unlocked.
Well, let's just talk about that for a second. So we'll deal with the end of it first, right? So now through your investigation, I appreciate your candor, Ranger, that we now know that those doors were all unlocked.
I know that one door was unlocked.
The one on the west, right?
Yes.
Is that one you referred to?
The door, I don't know what classroom door that
My
is.
approach to this.
Yes.
Just very briefly, just to clarify.
Yes, sir.
So, I'm going to show you what's this next one. And this is the demonstrative of the scene, right?
Yes, sir.
And this is the school.
Correct.
And this is the new building or the west building, it's called, right? And you'd agree this is the south door.
Correct.
When you say we know that the door, you said the door was unlocked, we're talking about this west one.
No, sir. I was talking about the inside door.
Oh, the inside door to the classrooms.
Correct.
Yeah, they were locked. Do you also, they were unlocked, sorry.
One of those that I know of was unlocked.
Did you know that one of the door locks wasn't even working?
No, sir.
You didn't know that?
No, sir.
Right.
I take it back. I knew that they had been having problems with one of them because they had reported it to maintenance that one of the doors was not working.
And nothing had been done about it, right?
Correct.
So the school knew that that door wouldn't open, that wouldn't lock,
That they were having issues with it. Yes, sir.
right? And it had been reported to maintenance,
That's what I had been
and nothing had
advised.
been done about it.
Correct.
It was supposed to be locked,
Yes, sir.
but it was unlocked. Do you also know through investigation now, I guess you can agree, that the external doors were also unlocked?
Not based on my investigation, but based off of information I had heard. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Ranger. Appreciate it. Possibilities.
May I, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to start with this whole idea about the common pattern of defeating these Columbine doors being the magnets.
You're going to have to ask that question a different way. I'm
Fair
sorry.
enough. I believe the defense asked you about the common practice of using magnets.
I don't know about Columbine, but I'd heard that there had been individual teachers that were using magnets, so the
Okay.
doors would not lock.
I just used the word Columbine because he used that for the name lock. I'll back off of that. The whole issue is pattern of using magnets so door wouldn't lock.
Yes, sir.
Door locking is a safety precaution
Correct.
to protect, I believe the defense said, from things like this happening.
Correct.
And school district police officers are also employed to keep things like this from happening
Yes, sir.
and provide security
For the students, yes, sir, and staff.
and determine whether or not there was a common practice not to lock doors.
I'm going to object that causes speculation, Judge.
This is what his training has been, Your Honor.
I'll rule the objection. You can answer if you know.
I don't know.
You don't know if
They would know that there is a common practice going on. Would they be aware of that? You would suspect that if they are there at that campus, that they'd be aware of that.
with a school district police officer, you would suspect they would know if there's a common practice of defeating the locks with magnets.
Yes, sir.
And whose job would it be then to correct that?
The staff or that officer.
In charge of the security.
Correct.
to keep that from happening.
Yes, sir.
Did you have any indication that any of the school district police officers corrected the problem, the common problem of using magnets to defeat the locks?
No, sir. I didn't interview any of those individuals.
And Adrian Gonzalez was a school district police officer.
I don't know Adrian Gonzalez.
I'd like to also speak to you about the casings you found inside the car.
Yes.
And just to be clear, the casing could end up inside the car because the weapon was fired inside the car
It could.
and the casing ejected.
Yes, sir.
But if a window is broken out, can a casing escape a weapon outside the car and enter the car?
Sure. Yes, sir.
And was there a window broken out in this case?
Yes,
In this
the-
vehicle?
Front passenger window.
So it would be completely consistent with being just outside the car for two casings to end up inside the car.
It could. Yes, sir.
And I wanted to talk to you also about the suggestion about to do anything about it, you need to see it. Right?
You would have to be present.
Present. You were in Del Rio.
Yes.
You couldn't do anything about it in Del Rio.
Correct.
So what did you do?
Responded.
What does responded mean?
I went to that location.
To do something about it,
Yes.
if needed.
Yes.
And you got to that location.
Yes.
And fortunately, you weren't needed at that point.
Correct.
But if you get to a location and you can't see an active shooter, but you can hear an active shooter, what do?
You respond to that location
Go to see it?
to work, not just to see it, but to respond and to initiate whatever you can do to stop it.
So an active shooting and you hear shooting, to do something about it, you go to it.
Correct.
You don't look for cover.
Correct.
But we talked about equipment. If you don't have your helmet on, then it's okay to look for cover, right?
No, sir.
If you don't have your rifle, but only a sidearm, it's okay to look for cover, isn't it?
No, sir.
I object to leave, Judge.
It's the same.
What are the limitations, if you explain to the jury, what are the limitations about going to shots fired in an active shooter situation?
There's not a limitation.
There's not a limitation.
I wouldn't say so.
The rule is what?
To engage, to stop the
Active-
killing.
Pass the witness.
Briefly, if I may. So, we talked, so I just want to clear up a couple of things you talked about there, Ranger. So you interviewed several staff and at the school, even the principal. Right?
Yes.
Even the principal told you that they would defeat these locks with that magnets,
I
right?
can't remember which individual said, but based off the interviews I had conducted, now if she had said that, that's a possibility. I just don't remember which individual told me that.
If I represent to you, you spoke to Principal Gutierrez, right?
Yes.
If I represent to you that she told you that, would you have a reason to doubt me?
No, sir.
No, I appreciate that. But nevertheless, there was a pattern of practice of leaving these doors open,
Yes.
leaving them unlocked.
Unlocked.
That's what I mean. When I say open, I mean unlocked,
Yes.
which is a safety issue, right?
Yes.
Okay. And part of that safety thing is to prevent something like this from happening.
Correct.
Right. And so the prosecutor just asked you about school police officers and their duties. Right. Now you investigated this incident. Right. You know through an investigation that Adrian wasn't assigned to this school.
I don't know anything about Adrian.
No. But all right, let me ask you a different question then. You know there was no officer assigned to that school.
No, sir. I don't know anything about the officers at the school.
Through your investigation, you didn't know that?
No, because mine was compartmentalized to specific things.
Right, okay. But if there wasn't a school resource officer assigned to that school, then it'd be difficult for that non-existent school resource officer to report things to the school, right? That makes sense?
If he had never been there, then no, he wouldn't know that.
Right. No further questions. Thank you, Ranger.
No further questions?
Recall, either side.
We don't need to recall him, Your Honor.
Subject to recall, please, Your Honor.
Okay, Ranger, the rule's been invoked. I think you're familiar with that. Please don't discuss the case with anyone. Be available for recall. And once again, when you know the case is over with and the rule is over, you can talk about it.
Thanks,
We'll
Judge.
see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next witness.
Justin Duck. These are just the 5.
Which one's these? Oh, did they go in?
The ditch. The other 5 photographs that you objected to. Who did object to them? This-
When is this?
What, who's this one? Justin Duck. He just did the subsequent search.
I don't know, I guess I didn't get any next witness.
Seat there and adjust that microphone, make it comfortable and speak up so everyone can hear you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Would you tell us what your name is?
My name is Justin Duck.
Justin Duck, what do you do for a living?
I'm a captain with the Texas Department of Public Safety.
And where do you work?
I work at Austin headquarters for DPS.
Okay. How long have you worked there?
A little over 19 years now.
And could you just give us a brief history of what you've done there?
Yeah, so I started in 2006 as a Texas Highway Patrol trooper out of Houston. In 2012, I promoted into the Criminal Investigations Division, where we investigated forgery, fraud, motor vehicle theft, and violations of the Texas Racing Act. In 2016, I promoted into the Texas Rangers, which is the major investigative branch of the Department of Public Safety. In 2024, I promoted into the Office of Inspector General as a lieutenant, and there's basically the internal affairs of DPS. And in earlier this year, or late or mid 2025, I promoted into my current position in the Human Resources Operations Division.
And back in 2022, what were you doing?
I was a Texas Ranger stationed out of the Waco area.
Out of where?
Waco area.
And did you end up in Uvalde around May 24th or soon thereafter of 2022?
Yes, sir, I did.
How did you end up doing that?
In my time in the Rangers, I was part of the crime scene investigation team. And so when the shooting happened on May the 24th, we were activated and told to respond to Uvalde.
And when did you respond?
May the 24th.
And how long a drive is that?
You know, I don't recall exactly, but it was several hours from Waco.
Okay. And were you given an assignment on searching a truck?
Yes.
And tell us about that.
So the morning of May the 25th would be the following morning. I was assigned to process a 2008 Ford F-150 that had been wrecked into the drainage ditch just south of Geraldine and South Grove there next to Uvalde, or I'm sorry, next to the Robb Elementary School.
And we've just looked at photographs of May 24th when the truck is in a nice clean ditch, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did anything change about that?
Yes, sir. The night of the 24th, it rained. And so the ditch filled with water.
And how did that complicate your work?
Well, any evidence that would have been immediately around the outside of the truck, it was now covered in water and difficult to locate.
And so did y'all just give up?
No, sir.
Tell us what you did.
We searched the truck and the area around the truck, and we found numerous items both in the water and inside the vehicle.
How'd you do that?
Well, we had to put our rubber boots on and get into the water.
Okay. And what did you recover?
From the water next to the truck, we recovered a duffel bag with a rifle and 6 loaded magazines.
And did you recover were any spent casings recovered either that day or the next?
Yes, sir. So the day of the 25th, there were 2 spent casings or fired cartridges located inside the 2008 Ford pickup, one near the rear passenger door and one near the front passenger door on the floor. Ranger Cody Allen also recovered a fired cartridge from underneath the water there next to the truck. Just by feeling around by feel, he located one. And then on May the 27th, Ranger Scott Swick, after the water had receded a little, went out and found a 4th fired cartridge.
So over a 3-day period, y'all end up recovering a total of 4 spent casings?
Yes.
Either in the truck or close by it.
Yes, sir.
And that's from just searching with your hands into the mud, and then thereafter, as it recedes, another casing is recovered.
Yes, sir.
And have you had a chance to look at photographs of those 2 searches?
Yes.
And are they fair and accurate depictions of the search?
Yes.
State now offers exhibit 76 through 80. Yeah. Through 84, 76 through 84, Your Honor.
No objection, Judge.
May we display those to the jury, Your Honor?
Yes.
Ranger Duck, if you'll look behind your left shoulder. Can you tell us what we're looking at here?
That's going to be the right side of the 2008 Ford F-150 as it's set in the drainage ditch in the water.
So that shows what happened to you overnight of the 24th in the morning, then of the 25th.
Yes, sir.
And that's where y'all searched around in that water and were able to recover at least 1 casing that morning. Is that correct?
We recovered 2 more from inside the truck, but 1 from the water.
You actually picked up the casings inside the truck.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And exhibit 77. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the condition of the drainage ditch that y'all searched?
Yes, sir.
And 78. You can tell us what we're looking at here.
Yes, sir. That's going to be the front right of the pickup truck there sitting in the water, and you'll be able to see Ranger Cody Allen's feet there as he's digging into the water.
And front right, that would be the front passenger side. Right is passenger side.
Yes, sir.
And that's the general location where something was recovered.
Yes.
And exhibit 79.
And that's going to be Ranger Allen with the spent cartridge in his hand too.
That's as he brings it up.
Yes, sir.
It's photographed.
Yes,
Would you
sir.
point that out to the jury where it is? You're welcome. Just walk over there. And was that a live cartridge or spent casing?
That was a spent casing.
Thank you. And then there was a subsequent search of the ditch the next day. Is that correct?
It would have been on the 27th.
27th, 2 days later.
Yes, sir.
And had the water receded to some degree?
Yes.
And on the bank there, is there a cartridge?
Yes.
Would you point that out also for the jury?
Yes.
Thank you. And then the photograph zooms up on that, and it's a little bit more evident that it's a cartridge. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And y'all attach evidence tags to cartridges
Yes.
and State's Exhibit 2. Is that what you're doing here?
Yes, that's Ranger Scott's wig holding the number 39 next to the fired cartridge.
And State's Exhibit 83.
It's going to be same photo, just zoomed in.
And 84.
Same cartridge, just with a picture of the head stamp.
And the head stamp is for what purpose?
I wanted to make sure that we could identify that later on if we needed to, by brand or whatever.
And was that brand LC 223?
LC 22 is what it's stamped to. Yep.
Thank you. May I approach? Showing your exhibits 11 and 13, all those 2 casings that were recovered in the ditch.
Yes.
Continue to the defense and offer no objection.
Judge McAfee is on board. Ranger Doug, I'm gonna ask you just a couple of questions. How long did it take for you guys to process this evidence?
I don't know. We started shortly after 11 a.m. that morning, and I believe we released the truck late that afternoon around 5 o'clock or so.
But there were rangers at the scene the day before. Is that a fair statement?
Yes,
Ranger Shea?
yes.
And was he doing, I mean, and I'm just saying, from this evidence, was this a specific duty you were assigned to do something different with these shells versus what he was doing?
I don't know exactly what he was doing out there.
But you're saying all day of your investigation, this is the evidence that you retrieved from the truck.
No, that's not the only two items we received.
Okay.
We retrieved from the truck.
Thank you. Thank you, Ranger.
Exhibits 11 and 13.
If no further objection, then they're good.
No objection, Judge.
That's the witness.
I should have waited. I'm sorry, Ranger.
That's okay.
My name is Nico LaHood,
Yes, sir.
and I'm one of the lawyers who represents Adrian. You've testified before, right?
Yes, sir.
First of all, you're young to be on the force for 19 years.
Well,
Right.
thank you. I appreciate it.
So I started asking you during the voir dire, but I should have waited till now. So were you not coordinating with Ranger Shea? You know Ranger Shea, correct?
I do. Yeah, I know Jason Shea. Yes, sir.
And who assigned you to do what you did on the 27th?
I want to say I got this assignment from Ranger Brent Barina, who was the crime scene team lead the following day on the morning of the 25th.
And was that Ranger in charge of dispensing assignments to you and Ranger Shea and everyone else?
I think so, yeah.
How many Rangers total investigated this scene?
This particular scene,
Yes, sir.
Jason was there the day of on the 24th. Nick Hill, Cody Allen, and myself were there on the 25th. And then there were I don't know exactly how many, but some other Rangers went back after the waters had receded to check one more time on the 27th.
And so excuse if I asked you this, but what was your specific assignment?
I was to assist in processing this truck for evidence.
And when you say processing, that's a term of art in investigations, right?
Yes.
Will you explain to the jury what processing means?
Sure. So we're going to be looking for any evidence that's in there that we can recover. And then two, we did some swabbing of DNA and things like that.
And if I can ask, why wasn't this done the first day?
I don't know. I don't know that.
But you know that Ranger Shea was there the day before you, or sometime before you,
I do. Yeah.
because it's been entered into evidence. We saw these spent shell casings that Ranger Shea took.
I know that he took some photographs the day before on the 24th. Yes, sir.
What did you review before your testimony today?
I reviewed my reports. Nick Hill had a report of all the evidence that we collected, and then I reviewed the photographs that we just went over.
And was your report part of a bigger report, or did you have an individual report?
I had one supplement or a couple of supplements within a larger investigative file.
Judge, pursuant to 612 and 615, I'm assuming, is that all part of the discovery that we were given?
Yes.
Okay. And so this was, you didn't have, we don't have a live suspect at this time, obviously, right?
Not that we're aware of at this particular time.
Well, the person responsible for the injuring those children had passed. You're aware of that at the time.
Yes. Yes.
And so you're collecting evidence, not for a criminal investigation, just for what?
Well, at that particular time, yes, the individual that wrecked the truck there was deceased, but at that particular time, I don't know that we knew if he had any other help.
Okay, but that's where I was going.
Yes,
So
sir.
it wasn't sure if he had anybody else helping him to assist in this evil act.
At that particular time, we didn't know that.
Do you know how long it took for you guys to realize that he was acting alone?
No, sir, I do not.
Now, did you recover full magazines? I think you testified 6 loaded magazines,
From the bag, the duffel bag that was on the ground. Yes, sir.
and that's, most people call those clips. We know that's a magazine where you put the rounds in
Yes, sir.
and you enter into the weapon, you chamber it, and then you can shoot a weapon.
Yes.
And did you check whether they were fully loaded or not?
I did not. Someone else did.
Do you know who did?
No.
Do you know if they were fully loaded?
I couldn't tell if they had, 28 or 30 in there. I couldn't tell, but they appeared to be loaded.
And typical magazines for a weapon like this usually carry up to 30 rounds, correct?
Yes.
So this was potentially 180 rounds, potentially.
Yes.
And so you could fit a 223 round in that, into that magazine,
Yes.
or a 5.56.
Yes.
Can you explain that to the jury, the difference? Because that kind of came up with Ranger Shea, that What rounds can fit in what magazines?
So generally 223 and 556 are one and the same for most weapons.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Generally 223 and 556 are somewhat interchangeable for most of those AR style rifles.
On a revolver, it's kind of like a 357 and a 38.
38 special, yes.
38 special, right? You can actually, you can only do a 38 and a 357. You can't do a 357 and a 38.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for that. What did you do with the evidence? Like, who are you reporting back to? What did you do with the evidence that you collected?
So the evidence I collected, I turned it over to Ranger Nick Hill, and then Ranger Nick Hill submitted it further from there.
Submitted it to whom?
I don't know exactly.
Okay. Did you do anything else further on in this investigation?
When I initially got there, I was in charge of documenting some of the bodies in the classrooms and helping get them to the transport vehicles. So we get them over to the medical examiner's office, and then after this, I was assigned in the kind of the evidence section, helping out there.
So there wasn't a conclusion to your portion. You just did what you were supposed to do, and then you passed it on.
Yes.
Thank you, Ranger. Pass it away.
No further questions.
So you're subject to recall either side.
The state doesn't need.
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, sir, the rule's been invoked. You know what that is. Please don't discuss the case with anybody until you know the case is over with and you've been released from the rule. You are subject to recall, so please stay in touch with the state. But you're excused for the time being. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll go ahead and give you your afternoon recess. Take 15 minutes. Please remember my instructions, and we'll see you back in 15. Would everyone please rise for the jury?